All right, something I something I discovered or came to an early conclusion about earlier this year in 2020 in explaining Mxk is that multi-marionetting is not Mxk. So what the hell does that mean? Multi-marionetting is a social opportunity, you can say social opportunity behavior, where you knowingly go into a situation where you will give up a certain amount of your control, or direction to someone seemingly higher up in a hierarchy, or the blower of the bubble, if we want to call it that. It's not necessarily the blower of the bubble. If you are someone who cuts out all middlemen and middle management and goes straight to the key decision maker, you will be dealing with the bubble blower. And so, like, multi-marionetting is the idea that you can socially ascend by going into one situation, being marionetted, being controlled by something knowingly, but then staying conscious of how you're controlled, and then use that to, like, you pull on your marionette string, so to speak, and you raise a little bit higher, but then you use that to, like, kick off something else and become marionetted by something else. And so this is a social advancement technique, but it ultimately it makes you a like a, let's say, a beta, male or female. It makes you a beta character, or it makes you a mercenary. It makes you an employee. It makes you ultimately somebody who's not making decisions about your own life. But the decision is really moving between different people's marionette strings. And so, like, certain skills within that are being able to cut the marionette string, if you are strong enough, or if you know how, if you go in knowing how, or if it's something that you can learn while you're there. But then, like, in contrast to Mxk, we were trying to find out, is Mxk, which is ultimately dimensional travel, and Mxk has an idea of, there's like a certain omniscience to Mxk. You can see everything, it's all blurred out into one. And we came to, we say, an early conclusion. It's an intuitive conclusion after engaging in some multi-marionetting, that perhaps because of its lack of detachment, and only thing that's going on is you're inside of a bubble, so you learn the social fiction of that specific bubble, even if it's a repeated social fiction that is within marionetted dissemination from a world order, or at least something much higher up. There's a difference between that and Mxk. So, like, perhaps there's some data within, but it's not true detachment. Ultimately, we're saying there's not enough detachment for Mxk, and perhaps that's what Mxk is. Mxk is a detached view, but also a detached view that doesn't have any experience of the inside, is too blurry for Mxk. Mxk is both high and low resolution at the same time. Mxk, in terms of, like, its omniscient quality, is it has this Enneagram 5 and Enneagram 9 quality at the same time. So both of these types, or kinds of consciousness, as it were, are withdrawn from a situation for some reason. The 5 is an observer, but the 9 is, like, withdrawn in actual energetic investment, and it's just like it can sit within and without, and ultimately above, since 9 is the crown of Enneagram. And in Muktitarvat, learn Maksiyat as something that is both 5 and 9. It's like a 9-ish understanding. So perhaps multi-marionetting can give you experiences that can contribute to Maksiyat, but they're not the same thing. And building Maksiyat, the best strategy for building Maksiyat is not multi-marionetting. It's not giving up control. And this is something that, or like giving up momentary control. And that's a big theme for 2020. It's like, okay, let's see what happens when we give up momentary control, like give away these certain freedoms for safety, for momentary control. It's like you never get it back. You never get it back the same way. So never gave it up in the first place. So like there's a few things there. It's like how do you not give up that kind of control in the first place? That's Solyat realm. That is the Enneagram 8 territory. It's an entirely different zone of understanding, though it connects to Uniel and Enneagram 5 and Maksiyat. But if Enneagram shows a true path of integration, or perhaps transcendence, if integration is really not what you're looking for, because in a certain sense, multi-marionetting is integration, but it's not transcendence. It's not good necessarily, depending on your discerning social position. So what I was saying is if Enneagram shows a true path of integration from Maksiyat to tulioembrian, then Maksiyat is not the end-all be-all. In Athalshat, in Athalshat, and in Sinethrin, that is the goal of a lifetime, is to learn Maksiyat. However, in tulioembrian is something that can happen without Maksiyat. However, this connection should be and can be further explored. But this is what we'll say right now, is that multi-marionetting is not Maksiyat. In order to gain Maksiyat, you don't need to give up any control for any amount of time.